If you've been watching my channel, you may know by now that I've recently had a very successful video that got 300,000 views. It was a video where I explored an account that AI generated a realistic autistic child to try and guilt trip people with this fake narrative that everyone hated his handmade mugs, so they could go to his website and spend $40 on mugs that were very clearly not handmade. The video is still getting views to this day and experienced another random little surge in the past week, so I decided to look it up on Google to see if anyone was reposting it somewhere or something. I wanted to see how successful it was, but when I looked up Soggy Nugget, this AI generated child scamming people, another video popped up with this exact same title, and it wasn't mine. And comparing them side by side, it becomes very clear that this video was blatantly trying to copy the appearance of mine. The guy who posted it was a YouTuber named Scott Schaefer. I think I'm pronouncing that right, I don't know. This is no small channel. He has over 100k subs, nearly 200k. Some of his videos have racked up millions of views, but yet he looked up to me, a significantly smaller channel, and decided to steal the appearance of my video. My video still has significantly more views, but I'm still very much the underdog in this situation. One thing I should immediately comment on, though, was that he didn't steal my content. He made his own video that was 8 minutes longer than mine. In fact, he actually expands on my subject and buys the products these AI-generated people are selling. This is something my broke ass didn't bother to do, but I felt would have been interesting, so I think this is actually a good continuation of it. I have no problem with that, but the subject, and therefore the content of the video, isn't what I'm concerned about anyway. This is a very relevant topic right now that I've seen more than one person talk about. You're not stealing my content if you talk about these AI scams. I've seen situations where small channels have had their scripts stolen word by word by big YouTubers. If that were happening here, I would be rightfully very pissed. And it is not, so I will of course give Scott credit for that. I do have a slight problem, however, with the fact that he copied and pasted my title exactly and clearly copied my stupid thumbnail. Except, you know, it's a person with Down syndrome instead of an autistic kid. But you get the idea. That's no coincidence. It also doesn't appear that you credited me once in the video. Again, you don't need to credit me for making your own video on this subject. In fact, I even made my own video in the first place because I had seen other people talk about these types of AI-generated scams, and when I stumbled upon one of those myself, I wanted to make a video about it because it interested. But it does start to get a little problematic when you were just inspired by me, but you reused the exact same packaging that my video had without giving me credit anywhere. I wouldn't have even known about this had I not looked it up. This video was posted back in June. Now, to be clear, I'm not offended by this or anything. I made that thumbnail in probably under 2 minutes. I absolutely pulled that title on my ass. I just made the video in an afternoon for fun, and got very lucky that a video I put so little effort into got so many views. That obviously doesn't make stealing it right, though, which I'll get more into in a moment. More importantly though, the video is also sponsored. I personally made no money off of my own video because YouTube was stupid and took away my monetization a few years ago. So this kind of took my idea for how I packaged my video pretty much exactly and made money off of that, while I didn't. To be fair, he couldn't have known that, but that doesn't make it okay to make money off of my design for yourself. Again, I'm glad that this is a subject where it really matters, because imagine if this video I made recently where I sent a single grain of salt to my friend in North Dakota suddenly blew up. I spent time on that video and put thought and effort into that thumbnail design. Now imagine a bigger YouTuber stole my exact title and recreated basically the exact thumbnail without crediting me for the original idea, and then they profited off of that without giving me credit. Technically, there's nothing stopping someone from taking my idea if they also want to send a grain of salt to their friend's house in North Dakota, especially if you have your own take on the idea like Scott did with my AI-generated child video. But then you don't credit me for my own idea, and proceed to recreate the same appearance of mine just because it was successful. When you reframe it that way, it just feels slightly shitty to even just steal the design of it like that, because that's still plagiarism. And plagiarism obviously is bad in any form, whether you have an emotional attachment to the thing you're plagiarizing or not. For all Scott knew, that video could have been my own magnum opus that I put a lot of thought into the design for, and then he just steals that with no hesitation. I know, again, at least his video still didn't do anywhere near as good as mine did. So see you in hell, Scott. I have this superior AI video with autistic 12-year-olds in the comments. I don't think you're even actually in Gotham. I think that might be a green screen. What a fraud. But yeah, all in all, it's fine to look for inspiration or even to grift off of relevant subjects for those sweet views, but if I can come up with an original half-ass title and thumbnail in 2 minutes and have a viral video, you can too. In fact, Scott, I see that you're capable of making your own thumbnails and getting 2 million views. That's something I could never dream of. You have talent of your own, and you just slacked out here. Quit being lazy and stealing designs from small YouTubers just for a shot at getting more money and views than them. So guys, do me a favor and let's bombard this guy with comments asking, are you the real Soggy Nugget? Because we really have to know. Anyway, get excited for my next AI mug video where I package it as the same thing, except it's just a review of the Lorax. Because guess what, everyone? Just as I finished writing this video, we have discovered that Kind Cups, the original AI autistic child account we found, has returned. The account initially disappeared a few months ago and I thought we had gotten rid of it. But yet, here it is. Please to report this new account and don't engage with it. I just thought you should spread awareness of that. Because just like Scott, AI steals art. See you soon, Nugget Gang.